Welcome to episode 15 of the Amiibo Newscast. And here's your hosts, Lauren and Amiibo Jason. Wow, what a lineup!
Good evening, Amiibo and Nintendo fans. Welcome to episode 15 of the Amiibo Newscast, episode 15. It is July the 2nd, 2015, and we have a heck of a show for you guys tonight. So as always, I am your host, Amiibo Jason. You might know me from Amiibo News and Nintendo Inquirer. By default, I have my amazing co-host, my partner in crime, Lauren, or Happily Candied. How you doing?
I'm doing well, and it's great to hear that I am called the default now.
Your default. And default guest, Lauren.
Thank you.
Can we keep that?
Yes, we can.
I think
it's
that.
Too amusing.
Okay, we'll stick with that.
Okay.
So, it's an exciting week. At least we got
Yes.
a decent amount of Amiibo news since E3.
Yeah, I'm actually really impressed with this. I thought things were going to slow down.
Yeah.
But instead they kind of sped up pretty quickly, a lot faster than anticipated.
Oh, for sure. It's interesting, the new things that we were able to figure out that we actually predicted months ago.
Yes.
About some of the new waves coming out into stores. And we're going to get into that in a bit here. But before we do, I wanted to touch base on something that's very near and dear to both of our hearts at this point, and that is Customs for a Cure.
Yes, I love talking about this because more and more keeps happening as far as development goes. So I have a feeling that we're going to have a lot more to talk about every single time we mention it.
I completely agree. So we have some concrete details about Customs for a Cure. Before we do, I just want to go through a few things about why we're doing this. So St. Jude is an absolutely fantastic organization that does great work for a lot of families with kids that are suffering with cancer. There's really no happy way to put it. But St. Jude really goes above and beyond to helping these families out, and which is why we are very, very drawn to the cause. So we started Customs for a Cure about 6 months ago in our first form. It was a smaller event, and we really wanted to take the good things from that and really amplify it. And amplify it we did, even bigger than we anticipated that we would. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go into some detail about how you can partake in this event and how you can watch it. So we are going to be streaming Customs for a Cure on Twitch.
Yep.
And we are starting this on, let me go ahead and get the official date here for you, the 24th at 5 p.m.
CST, so that's Central Time.
So July 24th CST, July 24th, 5 p.m. CST. Going into Saturday, July 25th, we're going to be closing the event out at 5 p.m. as well. Honestly, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be playing games. We're going to be having giveaways. And we really want your involvement with this, too, so the community. And the people that listen to the podcast are some of our most dedicated fans. So what we're hoping to get from you is we're hoping to get some ideas of what you want us to do and what you want us to play. So I'm going to let Lauren kind of describe how you can get your information over to us as far as recommendations.
Yes, we really just want people to send over any ideas as far as games go. So anything that you figure is retro or anything modern, it's just something that you think that other people would be entertained by. Feel free to send suggestions over to Jason at NintendoInquirer.com with the subject being CFAC. And that stands for Customs for a Cure.
I know, we're so witty with that, aren't we?
I know.
So more or less, we're looking for ideas. They could be bad games, and we're definitely doing, terrible games for this one. So we're sticking to Nintendo, old school, 8-bit, 16-bit. We're going to be playing Wii games. We're going to be playing Yoshi's Woolly World, because we did get it early, which is exciting.
Yes.
We got the Yoshi's Woolly World Amiibos, too, which I can't wait to show you guys in a video we're going to be doing soon, too. But one other piece I wanted to touch on before we get into anything else with the other Amiibo news that we saw this week is St. Jude actually reached out to us, and they're going to be flying both of us down to their headquarters in Tennessee in about 2 weeks' time. So we're going to be shooting some footage there, meeting the staff, and then meeting some of the kids that are at St. Jude right now. So we're going to get a better idea of exactly what we're going to be supporting.
Yeah, and to be honest, getting the support from St. Jude to help towards such a great cause, it has turned our lives upside down in a really wonderful way, I think. So we'd like to just send out our thanks to St. Jude for supporting us, and just in advance, we'd like to thank everybody else who have been so supportive towards the cause.
Completely. So there's going to be obviously more news coming in the next couple weeks as we lead into the event, but expect amazing, amazing customs. We have some of the best custom artists in the business helping us with this. We're going to be doing bios. Actually, starting next week, we're going to be having new bios very frequently on our website, NintendoInquirer.com, of all of our amazing artists and how you can bid on their amazing work through Customs for a Cure. We're going to be doing giveaways as well. So honestly, stay tuned. It should be fun for everybody.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Cool. Now we get to talk about the scary stuff, and that's the Amiibo-related news. So we have another retail exclusive on our hands, and this is a retail exclusive that we predicted over 1 month ago. So we have a friend to the show and one of the contributors to Nintendo Inquirer. His name is Josh the Noise Brown. He runs a Twitter account called Toys for Gamecast. If you've never listened to it, it's fantastic. If you're looking at this on our website or on YouTube, look in the description below. We're going to link to his podcast as well. But he was able to get us some inside information about a little over a month ago about where Dark Pit was going to end up. So we found a sheet. It was given to us, essentially showing that Dark Pit was coming to Best Buy. Palutena was not on that list, and either were any of the other Amiibos. So we wrote an article asking, could this possibly be a retail exclusive? A lot of people are like, you're crazy. Yep. But here we are. 1 month later, we got the scoop.
We did, and it feels good to be right.
Yes, it does. Josh Brown, I know you're smiling out there somewhere. You did it, buddy.
Woohoo!
We did it.
Yeah.
We got this. So for many people, this isn't necessarily terrible news. And a lot of people, I've actually looked at the comments when we posted this on Twitter when it was officially announced that Dark Pit is going to be a retail exclusive at Best Buy. The comments were super negative at first.
Yeah.
But I think people got a chance to take a look at exactly how Best Buy was handling this. Mm-hmm. And I think some people now are a little bit more warmed up to the idea of the retail exclusive. So let's go through what Best Buy is doing quick. And I want Lauren's opinion on this as well. Sure. Once we go through this. So Best Buy has said that this is in-store only. Mm-hmm. There will be no online sales, no pre-order of any kind for Dark Pit. So first come, first serve, which I think it's scary, but it's good.
Yes, I agree.
A vast majority of Meta Knight at Best Buy was sold online.
Yep.
I think the stores are going to be jam-packed with Dark Pit.
I hope you're right. For fans' sake.
I think it's going to. I think we're going to see very similar to what we saw at Toys R Us. I'm going to say 100 per location.
Okay.
It makes sense if they're not doing an online sale.
Yeah.
Just flood them in the stores.
Yeah, why not? No servers are going to be crashed. It's just going to be a little bit more of a hassle for the employees who actually work at the stores.
The sad part about this is this. So we know they are coming out on July 31st at this point.
Yeah.
So most kids have off of school, but that's good. But I think a lot of people might have trouble getting to a Best Buy. And I think one of the biggest complaints I've seen so far is there is no Best Buy within 100 miles of me.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So, I mean, that's one struggle that we might have, at least going forward with this. But overall, I gotta commend Best Buy for doing something. I'm not a big fan of retail exclusives as a whole. But I am a collector, and I am the kind of collector that likes to hunt.
Yeah.
So I think it's fun that I have to jump back and forth occasionally to other stores, but I have the flexibility to do so. Mm-hmm. So we're going to see comments, I'm sure, saying, Amiibo Jason, what are you talking about? That's horrible. And it might be for a lot of people, but I know some people don't mind like the thrill of the hunt, as it were. I actually like going and waiting in lines.
Yeah, no, I figured that's actually half of the hobby.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I really enjoy it. I might not go out hunting as much as others, but when I do, I have a blast.
Oh, for sure. And we always get to hang out with new people,
Yep.
meet new people. But I completely understand that other people have a completely different view of that.
Yeah.
So that being said, I think this is going to be bittersweet for a lot of people.
It will be. It will be. But for me, I see a bright side to this, and that is the fact that Best Buy is going out of its way to try to tweak its routine every single time.
Yep.
And knowing it's doing that gives me hope that, you know, we're going to see improvements here and there as time goes on. So I think it's a good move on Best Buy's part.
And at least we know when and where it's going to be, so you're not going to have to refresh like pages all day long. And for us at Amiibo News, it's going to be relatively nice that we're not going to have to like set up another page monitor for this, so we know exactly where it's going to end up.
Yeah.
So I think I have to again commend Best Buy for giving a detailed plan 30 days beforehand.
Yes.
Amazon did something similar, but they only gave us like a day's notice.
Yeah.
Not quite a day. I think it was 2 days notice. But honestly, I think that this is I think they're testing the water.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see other retailers do this as well. Do you think this is maybe like a push away from online sales coming up in the future for Amiibo?
You know, with the internet being just so big these days with online sales, I wouldn't say it's a push away. I think it's a step in another direction and a very positive step.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still think that we're going to see a lot of sales heavily rely on the internet right now.
Yeah. So obviously Nintendo is on board with this
Yeah.
because Nintendo actually retweeted Best Buy's post about this. So I think Nintendo may have listened to some of the fan backlash regarding this.
Okay.
So I think that might be one of the reasons why we're seeing such a change to this.
Yeah.
However, on July 31st, we also have Lady Palutena coming out, but we have
Yes.
no idea if it's going to be retail exclusive or not. Here's my thing with this. I think it's going to be retail exclusive. I don't know to where, but does it make sense that they would just release one Smash character at other stores?
I think so. I mean, they've done crazier things in the past.
I get that.
Yeah.
I just have this gut feeling that we're going to see Palutena as an exclusive somewhere. I just don't know where.
I don't know where either. I feel like either GameStop or Toys R Us are probably two very likely places.
I'm waiting for Amazon to get their first retail exclusive. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I guess you're right. For some reason, it never really struck me as an idea before, and even an option. But yeah,
it's interesting because Amazon has had this weird relationship for Nintendo with Nintendo for a while, and the main reason they were getting a massive amount of returns on the initial DS Lite way back in the day.
Yeah.
And Nintendo actually wasn't taking them back, from what I understand. So there was some major issues with that, so Amazon stopped carrying a lot of Nintendo hardware. But that's changed.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's not anything that we're really going to have to be concerned about anymore. So I think Amazon's back on the table as far as a retail partner, at least with an exclusive maybe in the future.
Yeah, I think it's a total possibility. If anything, though, I think it might be a little bit farther down the road. Not quite yet, because I know they did just jump back into the world of Nintendo kind of recently.
Yep.
But yeah, so I think it might still take a little while for those wounds to heal. But other than that, yeah, I can see that happening in the future.
Yeah, we want your opinion on this too. So if you head over to our website, NintendoInquirer.com, you'll see we have an article about Dark Pit being an exclusive at Best Buy. We want to know what you think. So in the comments, honestly, write us what your main opinion is on this. Again, I'm borderline happy and sad at the same time, but I think it's going to be a good thing for fans.
I think so too.
So seriously, sound off in the comments, guys. But that's it for Dark Pit. Again, I think it's going to be a very strange couple weeks with this, seeing as every other country in the world has Dark Pit already and we don't.
I know.
I mean, we have ours.
Oh, yeah, that's really all that matters here,
That's
right?
all that matters. We have ours. But besides that, we have other news,
Yes.
and this is, again, another game that's already released in Europe and coming out in Japan in the next couple weeks, and we have to wait like 3 more months to get it. That's Yoshi's Woolly World.
Uh-huh.
And, oh my god, the amiibos are so cute.
I know. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to get mine in person, finally.
So we talked about this during our last cast. So when we were at E3, we discussed how absolutely adorable, cuter in person, these adorable little Yoshi's Woolly World amiibos are. And honestly, I like melted at like the first sight of these things. So they are coming. And they are actually coming in a bundle now. So Amazon had released a photo on their website of what the US version of the bundle is going to look like. The box is taller than the European version, but besides that, it's pretty much identical. But the bundle's coming to the US.
It is, and it's a gorgeous one.
Yeah.
I absolutely love this thing. I would almost be tempted to keep everything in pristine in the box because it's so beautiful.
It looks a lot like the Mario Party 10 box. It's very, very similar to that. But yeah, I completely agree where I might want to just keep the Yoshi like in that box just as a crazy collector that I am. It's going to be so hard though. Those things are so cute.
I know.
But the good news is the bundle is confirmed to be coming to the USA, which I think some people kind of assumed it was already. I mean, Nintendo likes money. Nintendo knows Amiibos print money at this point for the most part. And the fact that they are bundling it with the cutest Amiibo that anybody's ever seen in their entire life is pretty much a surefire way to just me throw money at the screen as quick as I can.
Absolutely.
So they're not up for pre-order yet, sadly. But I have a feeling these are going to be very similar to the Mario Party 10 Amiibo bundles that were out, where when they first went online, it was crazy. They sold out very, very quick. And then closer to the release date, they popped up everywhere.
Okay. I hope you're right about that because I would love to see these everywhere. I can see a lot of people having multiple pieces of each color for each Yoshi. So.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to be terrible with this. So I'm going to get a few. I'm probably going to get one of each, as I always, or 2 of each, excuse me, as I always do. One for inbox, one for not. But believe it or not, a few days ago, I actually opened a bunch of my unicorns. Yeah, I opened my Little Mac and my Captain Falcon. I did that for our friend Abdallah, who actually came over and we were playing Yoshi's Woolly World, and he needed to scan the amiibo in. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done. But I think I'm actually drifting away from being a complete in-box collector as long as I open the box, like, carefully.
Well, I'm thinking that maybe the Yoshis will be that kind of gateway for you to get into opening more. For me, I plan to get a bunch of each color and have a huge wall display of just yarn Yoshis.
Are you serious?
I am very serious.
Do you have any idea? You're going to get crucified for saying this on this show.
I don't even care. It's going to look awesome in the end.
You hear that, guys? Happily Candied is going to hoard all of your yarn Yoshi amiibo.
You
heard it here first.
I'll try to hold off until everybody else gets all that they want, and then I'll run in and I'll get all the extras.
All the extras. There's so many extra amiibos out there. All the extras. Oh, God, that's funny. All right. So, what is your thought, though, on the massive delay between the European launch and the U.S. launch? Because we know it's ready to go. We played it. We played it a couple days ago. Abdallah came over. Abdallah Smash 026, if you don't know who he is. He was on our last podcast as well. We played the game, and it was so much fun. And why do we have to wait?
We have to wait because, well, I've been through this before. The marketing is completely different according to each country. I know it's not the answer that everybody wants, but it's the truth. The setup is different. Nintendo of America is very different from Nintendo of Europe and Nintendo of Japan. That's just how it works. And the release dates are always staggered like this, almost always. I mean, the only time that I ever remember having the worldwide release, or at least one of the only times, was a Pokemon release. Yep. Which was, like 2 years ago, I think?
No, I think, it was about a year ago for, I think, not Heart Gold, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
It was actually the one even before that.
Yeah, I remember
XY.
that.
It was XY, yeah. And that was one of the only times, and it was really emphasized, this is a worldwide release, but for me, it's no surprise that we're seeing a Woolly World come out so late here. It's unfortunate, though.
So I agree with you almost. I almost agree with you. I understand that for Japanese and US. If a game is developed in Japan that's heavily text-driven and dialogue-driven, I get it takes more time. Okay. But the game is out in Europe already. It's already translated into English. There's no reason why we have to wait to get my cuddly Yarn Yoshi amiibo.
It's not about the game mechanics, Jason. It's about... Are you even keeping that?
I'm keeping that. You're damn right I am.
It's not about the game mechanics. It's about the inner workings of the business itself. Businesses run very differently than people think.
They want me to import... They want me to import the game and the amiibo. And not just import the game and the amiibo. Yeah. I have to buy a European console on top of that.
You are almost supporting exactly what I said. It's a business decision. They're going to be making more money on that. Why not capitalize on something as simple as staggering a release like this? Because we might not like it, but that's just how it is.
I get business. I get business. But Nintendo has been like my friend since I was a kid. And I feel like my friend wouldn't take money out of my back pocket and have me import these things from other countries because they know the Amiibo community is rabid. You, dear listener, more than likely are a rabid Amiibo fan, and that's not a bad thing.
No.
It's good to be rabid. It's good to get excited, and it's good to want to get all of it. I mean, it's like Pokemon. It is. You got to catch them all. And who wants to catch them all when some in Europe already has all of it already, and we don't have anything? So all you have to do is open up your wallet, get your credit card out, pay the import fee for the game and the amiibo, and then you have to import them. And then when they come out in the U.S., the box looks a little different, so we have to buy it again. So our collections look, relatively good. This is Amiibo Jason's downfall. I think this is the episode that we can all look back on and say, what the happened to him?
May I just point out that this is a topic for Yoshi's Woolly World, and you got really, really heated over this.
Because the Amiibo are so cute, man.
Oh, wow. Cuteness equals... Okay, rage.
They are so much cuter in person, though.
Okay, I think that about wraps it up.
Does that wrap the segment up?
Yeah, it does, because we got all those feelings, those pent-up feelings out there.
I'm gonna beep those words out, I think, though.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a family-friendly podcast. I'll put some family-friendly beeps in there.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like Mario coins or something like that. I think that'll be the best way to go. But that's it for that. We have to wait like 4 more months, guys, for Woolly World unless you want to import. But it's coming.
Yep.
So it's good news. I don't think the supply is going to be crazy for it. We've already seen at this point with Europe, and I think with Japan at this point, the blue one's going to be the hardest one to get.
Yeah.
For some reason, the pink and the green are in really good demand. Of course, there's a rare.
Of
right?
course.
There has to be
I know.
A rare.
I was wondering which one it was going to be. I figured it wasn't going to be the green one.
Yeah.
But pink or blue. So I guess I'm happy that it's blue because I want a bunch of pink ones. But
yeah. I'm completely waiting for like a completely rare or newer, like maybe a white one.
I was going to say a white Yoshi.
One.
Yes, a white Yoshi. That would be really cool.
It'll happen.
I hope so.
These things print money. Of course they're going to.
Or if you look into Yoshi's Woolly World and how they can take on the appearance of other characters, I would love to see those skins on the actual Amiibo.
How much money do you think we have?
Well, we have an endless amount of money. I mean, that's what everyone else thinks, that we could just afford all the Amiibo in the world.
Yeah, let me point this out. We cannot afford that many Amiibo. I would like them.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
But I think I'd have to draw the line at the skins.
Yeah.
But that's it. It's coming, though.
Yes.
It's coming.
Be prepared.
Let's move on to some good news.
Okay.
And I guess it depends on how you consider news to be good, because they already sold out. But Nintendo announced that Wii Fit Trainer and Pit were being re-released. This was a few weeks back, and I think we reported on that about 2 weeks back. Yeah. Orders already went up at most retailers, and Walmart ended up pulling their world-famous, let's put them up at 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
So we missed that one. The fans were very nice to point out that we missed it.
Sorry, guys.
We did, though. We hit the one when it hit GameStop and when it hit Amazon. We were on top of it for those. And then Pit got released, too, so far on GameStop, not on Amazon yet. Actually, I think it might have went up on Amazon at one point, too. But we got those out, too.
Okay.
So they're already sold out for a majority of them. They ended up in a couple stores, too, and I hear that Best Buy is going to be getting Wii Fit Trainer in the next, day or two. Yep. But the restocks don't seem to be remarkably plentiful.
No.
It's kind of amazing how quickly they sold out everywhere.
Mm-hmm. I've been hearing reports of it on Reddit and Twitter, and people say that they've gone in and they've maybe seen 1 or 2. In a lot of cases, it really is only 1.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but the fact that they are being re-released, even if it's in small quantities right now, it's fair. Maybe we'll see even more come out in the near future.
Yeah. I mean, is this a good sign, though? I mean, we're seeing Nintendo publicly coming out on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram saying, yeah, we have a problem, and we know we need to, rectify it in some way, shape, or form. So are we seeing, is this good enough?
Well, it's the first step. I mean, it's still so soon to me after Nintendo announced that we would be getting re-releases. But the fact that they jumped back to Wave 1 for the Wii Fit Trainer, I think that says a lot. Why not see a lot more of other ones?
Yeah, and I agree. And we saw the same thing with Marth.
Yes.
About a month ago at this point.
Yeah.
And we had our first little look at the Nintendo World Store. They had this massive, restock of all these rare Amiibos. And we saw that Villager was there as well. And it wasn't just any Villager. It was the new reprinted one in American packaging. So at least we know the reprint for Villager is coming too. So they called it the Holy Trinity back in the day. I don't even know if that's the case anymore, because we're seeing more and more of them.
Yeah, I think that's going to fade a little over time. And I really, truly believe that Wii Fit Trainer is going to be produced even more in greater quantities soon, too.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I think that would be interesting for, Wii Fit. If you could somehow store your, unique details on your Amiibo, take it to your friend's house or something.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
Not that I know. I don't think a lot of friends, work out with Wii.
No, not anymore, at least.
Back in the day, though, man.
Yeah, that was a thing.
If you didn't have a balance board.
Yeah.
This is kind of fun for our fans, because you probably don't know this about me. I was about 75 pounds heavier than I am now at one point, and Wii Fit was actually what got me back into shape.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I ended up losing 75 pounds on Wii Fit.
Yeah.
At some point, I think I'm going to put an article up on the website, showing the progress. But it was kind of amazing how Wii Fit got me from where I was, this sad, dude in college to, a lot more active.
Definitely. Another great way to illustrate how Nintendo has a positive effect on someone's life.
I love how we were talking about the Amiibo. We somehow drifted into that topic.
Yep.
But I think it's a good sign, too. We're seeing re-releases of pretty much every major rare Amiibo at this point. There's a rumbling that there's 32,000 Rosalina amiibos that are making their way back to Target. This actually comes from a pretty credible source, too, so it looks like we are going to see a lot more of those. We saw a semi-Lucario restock, too, but right now, the ones that people want the most, the rarest that I've seen so far, King DDD and Shulk.
Okay. I guess I can see that.
DDD is going for obscene prices.
What's he going for right now?
Like $45-$50 for a Japanese version.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot more than I thought.
So we have on our website too. We have this thing called the Amazon Import Price Tracker, and we usually check these things a couple times a day. And DDD is definitely the one that's kind of going nuts at this point.
Okay.
But the restocks are needed. I think Nintendo still needs to look more long term with this and look at a way to distribute Amiibo directly.
Yeah.
So again, we've talked about this before, very similar to like Loot Crate. If they gave me an option saying, for this amount of money per month, you are guaranteed every Amiibo on launch day, we'll ship it to your house, I'd sign up for it.
I think so. I'm wondering if some people would kind of miss the thrill, though. I swear, I think that's why so many people get hyped up over Amiibo. It's that thrill.
That's the collecting in general. I mean, it's like if there was a million Charizard cards out there for Pokemon, they wouldn't be as fun to collect.
Yeah. The rarity is what produces the excitement.
Yeah, completely. So what do you want? What like reprint Amiibo would you want to see the most at this point? I know you're a big Rosalina fan, but somebody sent you one.
Yeah,
which is nuts.
I know. It's really exciting. Actually, I would love to see more Rosalina.
Yeah.
And I'm more of the Princess Peach fan, but I'm warming up more to Rosalina. And in fact, the Amiibo is one of the reasons why I've warmed up so much.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's the main one that comes to mind right now. Other than that, I would really love to walk into a store and see Villager.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that we talked about like a reprint and everything, but I would just love the idea of that because I never got a chance to see Villager on store shelves.
Yeah. Oh, they were everywhere by me. It's crazy.
Not by me.
There was Villagers at the Target by my house for over 2 weeks after launch. Nobody touched them.
Very, very lucky. That's all I can say.
Well, I was nuts. When I first got into Amiibo, I set up Amiibo News way before I decided I was going to buy all of them. I thought it would just, again, be kind of an interesting hobby to do.
Yeah.
But I decided I'm going to get Mario, I'm going to get Link, and I'm going to get Princess Peach. And those were the ones that I wanted.
Yeah.
And then I got those 3 at the midnight launch, and then I woke up the next morning at like 9 in the morning, and I'm like, I have to go to the store. I need to buy all of them right now.
And then the hobby just exploded there for you, didn't it? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And here I am now, the broken man you see before you, or hear before you at least.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, at least we're seeing Nintendo do something at this point. What kills me though is when I look online and I see pictures like at like European stores.
Yeah.
And they also got reprints, but they got much more massive amounts of stock, at least for their communities. And I was looking, and it's like every rare unicorn level amiibo is like on their shelves, and I see the Yoshi's Woolly World amiibos right there, and Villager, Marth, Captain Falcon.
Would you say that these store displays are like art installations?
A little bit.
I that's how I view them, because it's this gorgeous rainbow of amiibo.
But it's sad for the U.S.
It is sad, but I mean, this isn't forever.
Yeah.
This isn't forever. I have hope.
Anytime I go into the Amiibo section at a store now, it's like there's 15 Diddy Kongs. Hooray.
Hooray.
I'm so excited. And the occasional Mario just, off the base, like tilted over, like in the display case. So, but at least we're getting somewhere with it. So Nintendo, I have to give you some sort of credit at this point. Thank you for listening to the community, but hopefully we're going to see a little bit more of a massive restock coming up here in the future. And we talked about this not too long ago, too, where a bunch of documents ended up getting leaked, showing more production runs for practically every rare amiibo. We thought Nintendo would touch on it at E3. They did not. So we're hoping for some sort of announcement on that soon. Maybe at Comic-Con. They have this big Comic-Con set up. So.
That's right. Ooh, looking forward to that.
For sure.
Yeah.
So this next topic I know you're looking forward to.
Yes, I've been
waiting
the whole time.
So we have more info on the Animal Crossing bundle that's coming out. So we talked about this at E3 too. So the Animal Crossing amiibos are coming, and not just the figures, but we're also getting the amiibo cards, which is going to be crazy.
Crazy amazing.
Crazy amazing. I'll take that. So we initially thought there'd be 100 cards. Now we have confirmation there will be over 200 cards. Some of them are holographic, which is going to be fantastic. I don't know if the holographic ones are variants or if every single one of those are going to be holographic. I'm expecting variants.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, they're trading cards, of course. There's going to be variants at some level.
That's just how trading cards work.
But 200, is that... Yeah. We talked about this last time, too.
Did.
I still think it's a little excessive, but about... Let's see, it's about 7:30 this time here. a few hours ago, we got our first look at the Series 2 packaging. I can't remember who put this up, but I ended up finding this early this morning.
Yeah.
So on the cover of it, we don't see villagers on it. We see all of the secondary characters.
Yeah.
So we see some of the cops. We see Jack, the pumpkin head guy. What's his name? That's not his official name?
Oh,
is
Jack.
It?
It's just Jack.
Just Jack,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We have some of the Nooklings on there.
Katie's on there.
So I'm thinking Series 2 is going to be all of the kind of like secondary characters that aren't like actual villagers, which I think could be interesting too.
I think so too. And I like that they separated the series into characters like that.
Yeah.
It's something that I didn't expect. I kind of expected them all to be jumbled together in the same series. But I'm actually a little surprised that it's only 200 at this point, just because I know that the character roster is really high right now. I mean, it keeps growing every single time a new game comes out. So I was really kind of expecting more towards like 300 at least.
There'll be a Series 3.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm sure there'll be a Series 3 on this. And we're going to be suckers and buy them.
Yep, of course.
Every single one. But we also got information that Best Buy, at least Best Buy put their first like set of pre-orders up for the Amiibo Festival game that's coming out. Mm-hmm. So Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, it kind of looks like Mario Party 10, very similar to that. It's a board game type experience. It looks a little bit more laid back.
Yeah.
Mario Party's hectic, and it pits you against your friends, and this looks like more of a
casual kind of stroll through the Animal Crossing world.
But that's Animal Crossing.
It is.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I mean, Animal Crossing is the only game I know that penalizes you for not taking your time. If you run in your village, you can trip. If you run in your village, you kill your grass and you run over your flowers. So Animal Crossing is the kind of game that encourages you to slow down. And that's what I think a lot of us need in our lives. Very similar to like the Amiibo hunt. I mean, we all get worked up over it. The best way to calm down for me, throw a new leaf.
Of course.
For sure.
Yeah, same here.
But what we're going to see with this in Amiibo Festival, we're going to see 2 figures. So we have Digby and Isabel, and then 3 Amiibo cards, which I think at this point it's just going to be a booster pack.
Yeah.
They haven't announced if they're going to be like exclusive to this bundle. But they're going to be selling for $59.99.
I'm totally on board with that. Give me like 10 packs.
10 packs. But we're seeing these things going up for pre-order, at least at this point now.
Yeah.
We haven't had any information on any of the other Animal Crossing Amiibo when we're going to see them up. But that's kind of the nature of the U.S. Amiibo collecting at this point. We have no idea when these things show up. Amazon France ended up listing all of their Wave 6 Amiibo already. So Rob the Robot was up, Mr. Game & Watch. They only have like the placeholders up.
Yeah.
But we don't even have Wave 5, A up yet.
No. Yeah, it's going to be this long wait, I think. So
yeah,
it's to be expected. We understood this was going to happen.
So I definitely want you to be the one that takes the lead on this one because you are a resident Animal Crossing fanatic. You've had 2 weeks to consider Animal Crossing in both new forms. So we have the Happy Home Designer, which is coming out in September, I believe.
October?
Is it October?
I swear I thought it was. Now I'm losing my mind.
We'll figure it out. We'll put it in the comments somewhere below when that's coming out. And then we have the Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival coming out for Wii U. We found out there's going to be cross-companion app play in some sense. The Amiibo cards work on both games, and the figures work on both games too.
Yep.
What's your thoughts? Shameless cash grab?
No, I fully support the idea of Animal Crossing branching out into new types of games. I think it's really important that Nintendo tries to elaborate more in the Animal Crossing world. We've already gotten so many of the same things in all the previous installments. So seeing that we're given the ability to use the characters and see the characters in new lights gives me hope that the whole Animal Crossing world is going to grow and grow in new directions constantly from now on. And I think this is actually a really good sign that in the future, and hopefully the near future, maybe next year sometime, we'll see a new regular Animal Crossing game. Maybe it's very possible that if these other 2 games are successful, we'll see elements from them kind of brought into the newer Animal Crossing game. It's just, to me, this opens up a huge, wide door of possibilities.
I don't disagree. Honestly, I think Animal Crossing is one of these games where it's followed the same formula for years, since the GameCube version.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's evolved since then. When we had the Wild World on the Nintendo DS, it had more of the spherical kind of world where you can run across it. It's like everything's on a globe.
Yep.
But more or less, it was the same thing. I think the Wii version introduced voice chat, which was very quickly taken out of any of the future Animal Crossing games, so we didn't see a voice chat option on the 3DS version, which was kind of sad, especially if you had like a party play where I played with friends all the time, and some of us actually, we just took our phones out and talked through it.
Yeah.
There was this exploit that was on the 3DS version that I think you can still do. I don't think they ever patched it out, where you could duplicate items.
Yeah.
Oh man, we did that for like all the 7-Eleven furniture.
Man.
Oh, millions of bells. We were terrible people.
Oh, you are. I have not been able to get myself ever to do any cheats. I don't even time travel.
I don't even call it cheating. It's just, it was an exploit that we exploited.
Yeah. Oh, of course,
But I mean, the main mechanics of the game really haven't changed since, what was that, 2001 when the first one came out?
Yes, I think it was 2001.
It's been a long time.
It has been.
But more or less, I mean, it's kind of interesting to see at least new developments at this point. I think Amiibo are really going to elevate Animal Crossing into something that could be very unique. I also think Nintendo knows what they're doing. They know Animal Crossing is remarkably collectible. Not necessarily just here, but Japan, it's nuts.
It is. And I mean, I import a ton of my collection. I collect all different types of Animal Crossing products. And,
oh, she does.
Oh, yeah. It's my collection is constantly growing. And I would say, actually, all of them, I think, are all Japan imports.
Yeah.
I can't escape eBay and Amazon when it comes to importing them. So I think it's very smart for Nintendo to, like you said, capitalize on the game series. New directions are ahead. I can totally see them branching out even more with the Animal Crossing world.
What would you like to see? So obviously when they announced that there was going to be Happy Home Designer, and everybody kind of assumed that there would be a Wii U game, which there is. It wasn't the one that everybody necessarily wanted. What is your hope for Animal Crossing in the future? Because we're seeing this pretty massive branch into a new direction at this point that is very... It doesn't seem very Animal Crossing.
No.
On the Wii U. I mean, maybe it will once we actually get our hands on it.
Yeah.
But are you hoping for something else in the future, or just maybe another full-fledged game, or is there something else you'd like to see?
Right now, I do have my heart set on a full-fledged game. With Amiibo Festival set aside, I'm actually thinking about more of a kind of a collaboration between the regular Animal Crossing formula and then Happy Home Designer. What is really big and popular with Animal Crossing is the idea of customizing households. And so we already have the ability to customize our own houses, and now we're going to be given the ability to customize animals' houses. That's awesome.
Yep.
Why not combine those two and go a step further and have the ability to customize the town even further? In New Leaf, we saw amazing jumps and great new directions for customizing with public works projects. And a ton of other elements and museum rooms. I mean, you can have these gorgeous rooms set up with however you want them to be. And I can see that if Nintendo really, really wants to go a step further, I think they need to combine those two Animal Crossing games and really allow the player to create his or her own world.
So let me play devil's advocate real quick with
Go
this.
for it.
So would that be fitting the Animal Crossing formula? Because, I mean, Animal Crossing has always been, let's relax.
Yes.
And I think that's what we're going to end up seeing with Happy Home Designer, especially with the Amiibo card. So I think it's, tap a couple in, have a nice relaxing visit, play with some friends, stuff like that. But the more you can, let's say, it kind of sounds like maybe you were saying, you could run a business, or maybe you can set up the town a little bit differently, or make skyscrapers or something. Does that add maybe a level of hecticness that the developers don't want?
For me, it doesn't. I already go crazy with QR codes and every single possible thing that you could do in the game to customize the town. For me, that is relaxation. That's a form of, I guess, just everyday activity that I want to just settle down with and sit down with so I can focus on something that is, for me, very easygoing.
Yep.
And I can see this doing very well. I don't see any element of stress or, I don't know, any strain. So I would be perfectly happy with that. Makes
sense. Well, that does it really for the Amiibo side of everything at this point. I know we talked about a lot of topics that weren't necessarily completely Amiibo related. We talked a lot more about Animal Crossing. I want the community's opinion on that as well. There are going to be slow Amiibo news weeks. And obviously we are Nintendo diehard fans to our core. how comfortable are you guys with us talking more in detail about other Nintendo stuff? This is going to be a podcast that first and foremost is going to focus on Amiibo, so don't fear that in any way, shape, or form. We would like to see if anybody else would like to like us to talk about anything else in the Nintendo universe, because we would love to, but we want to make sure that our fans have our backs on that. So honestly, if you want to shoot us an email or a comment, you can go to our website and you can pretty much shoot a comment anywhere there. We'll set up an article on our site like asking what direction you want to see the newscast go in, and you can fill out a comment there. But we would love your feedback.
Yes. We like to cater to our audience, and we really take your opinions very seriously. So any opinions that you have, please send them to us.
For sure. Now it's the most fun portion of our newscast, and that is the Amiibo News Speed Round, even though it's not necessarily the speediest thing anymore.
Nope.
We've come to realize. But
we've accepted it.
We have. But we ask questions on our Twitter feed every week, asking our community, what do you want to know from Amiibo Jason and Happily Candied? So we have a huge amount of questions, actually, this week. So why don't we just get started right away?
Sounds good.
So we have a Nicholas IVT. He asks, after every Smash Amiibo is released, will they start focusing on card versions of them? I don't think we're going to see that. I think Nintendo is going to focus cards on very specific franchises. I think Animal Crossing is one of them. Pokemon, I'm sure, is going to be another one, too. We might start seeing cards as like companions for other games. I wouldn't be surprised if Fire Emblem has some sort of Amiibo card support when it comes out. I could be wrong on that, too. But I think we're going to start seeing cards used in a dedicated form. I don't think Nintendo is going to focus their efforts on translating things that were already figures into cards.
Yeah. I agree. I completely agree with that.
Cool. All right. We have, who's this? Lupido620, who asks, why do Amiibos barely have any functionality in-game? Most is Splatoon. Other games feel empty.
I think this is something that we've kind of touched base on in the past, and I think we're seeing a progression with Amiibo and their compatibility with games. Earlier on, the compatibility, it really wasn't there as much. We didn't see as much interaction with the Amiibo, but Splatoon is the newer one, a newer game. And we've seen a lot of development since the first wave. So I think that's an indication that we're going to see more and more, action and functionality with future Amiibo.
No, I agree. I think obviously, I think Nintendo knows that the main draw of Amiibo is just the collectability factor of it, and I don't think that's a bad thing. In Smash Brothers, Amiibo are amazing. They really are. I think there's a massive amount of fun things you can do with that. In fact, we're doing this for Customs for a Cure. We're doing a worldwide Amiibo tournament. So that being said, there is so many interesting options that there are for the Smash Bros. Line of Amiibo.
Yeah.
However, I feel your pain on a lot of these things too. Some of them I feel are, like we talked about Shulk, the Shulk Amiibo, and Xenoblade Chronicles doing pretty much nothing but unlocking artwork. I think Nintendo's working on it.
Yeah.
I think with the inclusion of Amiibos and Skylanders coming up relatively soon, we're going to start seeing more of a dedicated Amiibo space, hopefully in the future.
I think so.
Cool. Thanks for the question, though. I mean, it's a good one. We've already touched on this one, and it was from the Real Marblehead. They want to know if Palutena is going to be an exclusive, so we both agree.
Yeah.
We think it's probably going to happen. Cool. This one I have to I have to answer. This is from Eat Fellow Humans.
Nice.
Have you noticed a difference in the out-of-box smell between waves 1, 2, 3, waves 4, and 5? Different material?
Yeah, do you notice a difference?
Well, I do sniff the Amiibo quite often.
Well, of course, who doesn't?
I mean, it's just part of the collecting. I do notice that the newer wave has a more smoky smell to it. Kind of like a what's the word I'm looking for?
Musky?
Musky.
Yeah.
It's a very musky smell.
Yeah.
Compared to the older ones, I mean, they just, they smell more plasticky.
Plasticky. More like McDonald's toys, maybe?
Very, very similar.
I thought so. Okay.
I hope that answers your question, Eat Fellow Humans, because that's probably the oddest question we've had so far that we've answered.
It's a great question, though.
All right, so we have Pop Social, who asks, how do you want to see Amiibo used in Nintendo mobile games? Good question. So, for iOS, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but iOS locks down their NFC chip. So you cannot be an app developer and use the NFC. It's designed specifically for Apple Pay, and that's it. So I can't imagine that iOS games are going to have any kind of Amiibo support. Android is a bit different. Android might support it in the future. So I don't know what I'd want to see specifically. I'd like to see like an official Nintendo Amiibo companion app where you could scan your phone, like scan your Amiibo on your phone, and you could look at your collection on the go.
Yeah.
Besides that, though, I don't necessarily think it's needed in the mobile space.
No, I don't think so either. I would actually rather have Nintendo focus on their consoles anyway.
For sure. We have Daydreamer Rock. Hopefully I got that. No, I think it's a Rach. Daydreamer
yeah.
Rach. Sorry about that. Not Rock. What DLC character do you want to see added in Smash? For example, old Smash character that wasn't in the newest Smash or whatever.
Ooh. Oh. That's a good question.
I know who I want. I want Conker. I want Conker so bad. I think Conker would be a little bit too vulgar for Smash.
Yeah.
But I could totally see him with a frying pan, the whole thing. I think it could be amazing.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Isabelle, too. Because I think it would be amazing
definitely.
to watch Isabelle kick royal ass, like in Smash Brothers.
I love that idea. Actually, the first one that came to mind right now is Dixie Kong.
Yeah.
I love Dixie Kong, and I would love to see more of her.
That would be interesting.
Like it would be something just a little bit different, I think, and I haven't really gotten to see enough of her over the years, so just a little appearance would be great.
Yep. Let's do one more.
Sure.
So this is from Brandon Alicia on Twitter. They want to know, what's your thoughts about every Amiibo getting 1 month of production as of late? So I've talked about this before. When we see those certificates coming out showing the production runs for these things, 1 month does not mean a whole lot of anything. It doesn't mean that it's going to be like a super rare run. It doesn't mean that it's like completely understocked. A lot of common Amiibos had one supply run at first.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's something that you're necessarily going to want to look at. We usually put it in our post, like how many, production months that they had, but I wouldn't look at it like this is like terrible if it only is 1 month. So overall, I think that you shouldn't have to worry about it dramatically. And I think that we're seeing a lot of these things with one production run month because they have so many.
Yeah.
And they probably have to get them out pretty quick.
Yep, absolutely.
But that's it for the speed round, and that's it for episode 15. A bit of a shorter episode. It's not one of our hour-long episodes, but honestly, I think since E3 happened, we're kind of in the calm.
It is the calm after the storm.
I think so.
Which I'm perfectly fine with because, it's funny because it's a little early to say this, but I'm already bracing myself for the holiday season.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Christmas in July.
Yeah, really, really. So I'm sure that we'll get a huge wave of news eventually, and then we're just going to be kind of missing the calm that we're having right now.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
But honestly, thank you for tuning in. If you want to find us, obviously, you can find me at Amiibo Jason. That's my personal Twitter account. We have, obviously, Amiibo News and NintendoInquirer.com. That's our new baby. We have so many cool updates coming in the future. I cannot wait to share them with you. We have Customs for Akir. It's coming up this month. We have it on July 24th through the 25th. Check out our website for details. Where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Happily Candied, and my personal website is happilycandied.com. It is also linked in my Twitter profile, so feel free to browse there if you just want a little dose of sweetness and cuteness.
Aw. Isn't that sweet?
It is.
Well, we'll be back next week for episode 16. And honestly, I think thank you for tuning in. We have a blast doing these. And make sure to check out our website and tell us what you think about the cast and what direction you want us to move into. Have a good evening or good morning, depending on when you listen to this, and we'll be back.
Yep. Peace out.
Bye, guys.